there was a sadness that reigned across the land. As sure as the sun rose, the people were in mourning. As sure as the night fell, the people cried out their tears. The emperor had died, and the people of China were in such distress and such sadness that their melancholy went from village to village, from city to city. No one was not affected by the loss of the emperor. But a new day dawned, and the emperor's son was now going to be crowned the emperor of all of China. The people began to celebrate. The people began to come out of their sadness because this was the son of the emperor whom they loved so dearly. And as the son took over, he called his prime minister and he said to his prime minister, "We will have a different kingdom than my father. In my father's kingdom, he gave out all the punishments and he gave out all the rewards. But in my kingdom, I want to do things differently than my father to make sure that I have the love and the appreciation at my time of death that my father had." So, Prime Minister, I will give out all the rewards throughout the kingdom. I will give out all the gifts to all the people. I will ensure the happiness and tranquility of all the people in the land by giving them that to which they desire. But, Prime Minister, we must have law and order. So, I will task you to ensure that everyone in the kingdom who disobeys the law, who breaks the law, who steals from another man, who robs another man's home, who murders another man, any disputes over land are handled by you. You will give out all the punishments and ensure that they are all carried out. Prime Minister, looking at his new emperor, he said, "Yes, I will do as I am told. It is my will and pleasure to do this for my emperor and my country." So, years go by. The emperor has been giving out all the rewards and feeding the people. The emperor has been giving out all accolades to all the people. People come in and for celebrations, and the emperor throws lavish balls, and the emperor throws lavish festivals for all the people throughout all the land of China. Wow, Prime Minister, he's administering the punishments. He's ensuring that people who commit crimes pay for their crime in like kind. He's ensuring that disputes, when satisfied, that those who are in the wrong are punished accordingly. The Prime Minister is sentencing people to death. The Prime Minister is incarcerating people into prison. The Prime Minister is taking away funds and money from people who are being sued by others who win. The Prime Minister is giving out all the punishments. Well, after years and years of this, the emperor is looking around and he starts to notice that when he tells the people, when he tells his servants, when he tells those of the royal court to accomplish certain tasks, they may get done, they may not. When he tells them that, we need to make sure that this festival goes off perfectly, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. When other royalty come to visit China, things are not always to the pleasing of the emperor. But then the emperor happens to notice that anytime that the Prime Minister is involved with any kind of banquets or involved with any kind of task or works, building construction that needs to be taken care of within the land of China, that it is done with the most urgency, that the people make sure that they get everything done and don't cut any corners. So, the emperor has a thought, because he sees that the people may not be respecting him as much as they respect the Prime Minister. So he calls the Prime Minister into his court. "You know, Prime Minister, for years you have given out the punishment, and for years I have given out all the rewards. But I think it's time now for a change. I see that the people, they respect you, and I want that same respect. So, Prime Minister, I will now give out all the punishments, and you, Prime Minister, will give out all the rewards." As it is your will, replied the prime minister. So then the emperor begins to punish the people when they ignore what he says that he wants them to do. The emperor begins to sentence people to death. The emperor begins to sentence people to prison. The emperor begins to claim land from other people. When the ball doesn't go off as well, people are punished harshly by the emperor. Whereas the prime minister, when people do well in battle, he gives out the rewards. When people complete a grand task, he gives out the rewards. When people are kind to one another, when there are festivals to be had, he gives out the rewards. So after years of this, the people come up into a revolt, and the people are angry, and they come to the emperor and they bash down the doors of the palace and seize the emperor under the control of the people. And the emperor is hated by his people. And so the people behead the emperor. And as the people look around, they say, we need a new emperor. Who will be our new emperor? Many of them begin to talk and chatter and say, you know who's come around, who was pretty harsh, but they've come around now pretty fair? The prime minister. Why don't we make the prime minister the new emperor? And in days coming, the prime minister was crowned the new emperor. And this has been Storytime with an Alchemist. I'm your coach, Renz. This story was told to me when I first went into the Marine Corps. It was told to me because it was a part of the training in leadership training that we go through. And the story really shows you how when you first come into a unit, when you first come into a position, that it is not good for you to come in being just the one who give out rewards. That if you only give out the nice things to people, then those people will become spoiled and they may not respect your authority when you need to ensure that work is being done. We see this in children. If you just give a child everything that they find pleasing and pleasurable, but yet you expect them to mind you, you expect them to stay out of trouble, you expect them to do the other tasks that may not be pleasing to them, and they have a tendency to fight you or ignore you, it is because you started out only giving out rewards. There was a friend of mine who was a pastor. He became the new pastor of a church. He did the same mistake. He told his chairman of the deacon board that you will handle the business of the church, ensure that everything is done, the tasks are being done, and I will just go to the dinners, and I will just preach, and I will just, shake people's hand. I will be pretty much the good guy, and you will be the bad guy. Well, after a few months, the new minister realized that the people weren't respecting him when he would ask for certain things to be done, but when the deacon said something, that things got done. It's because people respect authority. People, just like children, and I'm not saying that everybody is a small child to be lorded over, but we all are children at some point. We're all somebody's child. But we need structure. We need discipline. When we don't have it, then we don't respect when someone tries to implement discipline or structure. We teach in the Marine Corps that you must develop a sense of responsibility among your people, that you have to hold each person responsible for their actions, and that we must hold the group responsible for their actions as well. This is how we come into a situation. You must hold the group and hold the person responsible for their actions before you begin to give out rewards. A person should earn rewards well before they're just given rewards. We see this in any type of relationship that you would like to discuss. In a personal romantic relationship, in the beginning, we're always just giving. There are very seldom in the beginning of a relationship that someone will say, these are my requirements in order for me to continue to give to you. And then after a time when a person starts to require their requirements, all of a sudden you've changed. All of a sudden you are complaining. All of a sudden you have issues. But it is behoove of you to ensure that your requirements are known at the very onset of a relationship. Whether it is a business relationship, a romantic relationship, a parent-child relationship, if you are the person in charge of a new company or a new section, it is imperative that you establish the requirements before you establish the rewards. Too often we want to be liked by everyone instead of being respected first. In order to be liked genuinely, first earn their respect. So this has been Storytime with an Alchemist. This is your coach Renz. Remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable.